Hi everyone, it's Jay here and these are the releases for the second half of April. I'm really sorry that I am releasing this late. I got really ill and I had no voice for a really long time. So in the past few weeks I've just been releasing videos that I already had pre-recorded. So I do apologise in advance for my voice if it goes a bit funny. But we're going to start with the Kodansha releases. Go with the Clouds, North by Northwest Volume 7. Kei Miyama is a 17-year-old with 3 secrets. He can talk to cars, he can't handle pretty girls, and he works as a private investigator. A case strikes close to home searching for his own little brother, leading to a globe-spanning journey. In this one, he returns to Japan, believing that his younger brother Michitaka is still alive. To Kei, Michitaka has always been a spoiled but tender-hearted person. That's why he's refused to believe all the dark rumours surrounding his brother. But now he's starting to realise he doesn't know Michitaka as well as he thinks. Volume 2 of I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day. Undeterred by war and violence, Sheena is determined to protect Mimi, an immortal girl deployed into battle. As the two become closer, Mimi puts national security at risk when she discloses her status as a classified military weapon. This lapse in judgment angers the authorities, including those who run the magical orphanage. Kusunoki's Flunking Her High School Glow-Up Volume 4. Kisuke Shizuki's summer break is putting his pretty girl phobia to the test. While he tries to have a chill summer working in his uncle's store, 2 beautiful but completely different girls have entered or re-entered his life. On the one hand is socially awkward Shizuku Kusunoki, who just wants his help doing normal things like making friends and going to the beach. On the other hand is cold but flirty Ririsa Hebikawa, the girl whose cruelty to him in elementary school made Kisuke renounce love altogether, and now Hebikawa has finally recognised Kisuke as the nerd she used to tease. Ajin Demi-Human Complete Volume 3. This is the omnibus release of Ajin. We get the backstory of Demi-Human ringleader Sato in this one. Gachia Kuta Volume 6. Faced with the mysterious woman of No Man's Land, Amo, the cleaners find themselves ensnared one after another by her strange power, until Tamsi manages to turn the tables in one last attack by relying on the power of Remlin's protection spell. Amo begins to tell them about her past, which just might reveal the information Rudo is so desperately searching for. Rent-a-Girlfriend Volume 30. Kazuya and Mizuhara are finally living together, and every day feels like a dream come true. But will Kazuya be able to handle the beyond belief bonus stage? Meanwhile, Yaemori offers to help with Mizuhara's ongoing investigation, just as Mizuhara's birthday is around the corner. Sharing one roof will force their relationship into hyperdrive. Shangri-La Frontier Volume 16. After being humiliated by Sylvie's Metius, Sunraku discards his plan to stall for time and ignites his Vorpal soul to fight to win. The Blue Wolves of Mibu Volume 5. A chance meeting with Kikuchiyo, better known as Shogun Tokugawa Iemochi, and a bloodthirsty member of the mysterious and dangerous cabal known as the Blood Rishidan, leads to a long and frenetic night. Meanwhile, the dangerous forces threatening the peace of Kyoto highlight the Mibaru's need for a visible uniform. The only question is how they're going to afford such an upgrade. To Your Eternity Volume 22, Kaibara has captured Tonari and Bon, and are holding them behind security so tight not even Fushi can break in. Meanwhile, the captain closes in on Ade and the doll. Fushi and friends set out to rescue their comrades, but Andy attacks using a fearsome new mode, and Bon sneaks into Kaibara's secret headquarters, all alone. There he learns the twisted, true nature of this future world. Toxic daughter Chi-chan. Yua Hayakawa used to love playing with Chi, a mysterious girl with a murky family life who likes collecting dead insects, but it's been years since they've spoken. Now Chi hardly ever comes to school. One day Chi shows up to class in beat-up gym clothes with a handful of dead bugs and starts a commotion that gives Yua's classmate, Golden Boy Kodai, an idea. He's going to save Chi, and he needs Yua's help to do it, but clean-cut exteriors don't always promise good intentions, and the darkness in Chi may be more dangerous than Yua had ever imagined. Your Lie in April Omnibus 4. This is the final omnibus edition, containing volumes 10 and 11, and it's 400 pages long. A vampire in the bathhouse. Luca Edelmont Finsternis is your picture-perfect vampire. He's good-looking, he's regal. He's also usually incredibly hungover and exhausted and wants nothing more than a change of pace from his routine. When he takes a peek into the human world, he finds just the cure he's looking for, a relaxing Japanese bathhouse that will surely cure him of his hangover and rejuvenate him from head to toe. So Luca pays a visit to the full moon baths, where he meets the bathhouse's eldest Sakura. But between the bathhouse being short-staffed and taking care of his little brother, Sakura has enough to worry about without a bougie vampire being added to the mix. Ashita no Joe Fighting for Tomorrow Volume 2. After a clash between Rikishi's finely honed skill and Joe's raw, unbridled gift, both are released from the reformatory, but Joe has a lot of catching up to do. His rival is already making waves on the pro circuit, and while Rikishi has expensive state-of-the-art training facilities, Joe has nothing but a makeshift gym down by the river. Blue Lock Volume 18. Their well-earned downtime is short-lived because Phase 2 is about to begin, and the rivalries are fiercer than ever before. Eden Zero Volume 31. The Eden Zero crew fights to the bitter end with the 4 Dark Stars as the Eden Zero self-destruct sequence counts down. And when Shiki finally accomplishes his grand goal of meeting Mother, instead of granting his wishes, she gives him an impossible choice that threatens the lives of his loved ones. A new series called Gaiatima the Gigantis, a monster that people call Gaiatima, devastates a small seaside town. 10 years later, the resilient community has emerged as a tourist destination, and Miyako, who became a local celebrity by surviving the attack, is making a living selling mini replicas of the beast. But when Gaiatima returns, Miyako and her neighbours will discover that their enduring connection to the creature goes deeper than tourism and trauma. Just what is the true agenda behind the attack of the Gigantis? Are they more like Gaiatima, waiting for their moment? And is humanity capable of responding to violence with anything other than more violence? Nina the Starry Bride Volume 9. Nina faces the jealousy-crazed Prince Set, and it's time to meet a new prince in this story. But is he friend or foe? From Yempress we have A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School, Volume 16. Now that Haruraki's clumsiness has accidentally awakened the god of Hyaki Academy Island, it's up to him to figure out how to stop it from eating everything in the Pacific Ocean. Seven Fates Chaco Volume 7. This is the final volume of the series, so go buy it to see how it all ends. Agents of the Four Seasons Dance of Spring Volume 2. Winter's frigid embrace gives way to the abundant warmth of spring as Lady Hinagiku returns to Yamato. The Agent of Spring and her impassioned guard step gracefully through the land, reviving it with colour and life, and confront painful scars that linger from Hinagiku's time away. But the tendrils of those who seek to disrupt the cycle inch ever closer. Apocalypse bringer Minogra, World Conquest begins with the Civilization of Ruin, Volume 3. Smooth negotiations with von Cavan have sown the seeds for Minogra's first ally. To learn a bit about their new neighbours, Takuto sends a delegation on a diplomatic mission to the city of Dragontan. As the sourceless attacks on Dragontan increase by the day, Takuto deduces a far greater threat is emerging, the likes of which Minogra have never faced before. Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture, Volume 6. Professor Akira's scary story party became a strange tale in its own right, when a ghostly voice was caught on the recording equipment. Now it falls to the Professor and Fukumachi to re-solve the mystery of the Night of 100 Horrors, and Fukumachi's summer has more in store because Akira promised to head to Nagano with him and research the Festival of the Dead that Fukumachi saw on that muggy summer night of his youth that changed his life and his ears forever. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, Volume 10. Ruti has chosen to quit the path of the hero. Not only that, during her stay in Zoltan, she started working with Tise at her beloved brother's red shop. Yet is she truly prepared to abandon everything just to stay by his side? Be My Worst Nightmare Volume 2. In his strange dreams, Sayo has been catching glimpses of Itsuki Mashiba's private life through the eyes of his beloved cat plushie, bringing the two boys a little bit closer. But someone isn't so pleased with this development. Itsuki's older brother. Not only has he taken the plushie hostage, but he's convinced that Sayo is in love with Itsuki and he's dead set on keeping them apart by any means necessary. Beware the Villainess Volume 3. While staying at the Elizabeth Manor, Melissa meets the last of the 4 male leads from the novel, the rich and fabulous Peacock Melody. As she watches his creepy attempts to buy the heroine's love, the last shred of faith she had in these men dies. Enough is enough. Melissa vows to protect the sweet and innocent Yuri from his degeneracy, even if it means going full villainess mode. Bocce the Rock side story Kikuri Hiroi's Heavy Drinking Diary Volume 1. This is a spin-off of Bocce the Rock. Kikuri Hiroi, genius bassist of Sick Hack, terror of concert halls, eternal deadbeat and all-around poor role model, has always believed there's no problem you can't drink your way out of. The world might be dull and depressing, but whether it's the failing economy, overdue rent or just plain old social anxiety, a quick trip around the spiral of happiness will help everything work itself out in the end, right? Surely her personal life isn't a total disaster, right? Bungo Stray Dogs The Official Comic Anthology Volume 3. This third volume of the official comic anthology of Bungo Stray Dogs is packed with all new stories and situations you won't find anywhere else. Whether it's the agency playing cards with Lovecraft, the Port Mafia trying their hand at game development, or Poe hopping on the isekai genre boom, this collection will show you sides of your favourite characters you've never seen before. Days with My Stepsister Volume 3. It's Yuta and Saki's first summer break as step-siblings. Now that Saki has gotten a job at the bookstore where Yuta works, they've ended up spending more time together, but she seems really stressed. When she even turns down an invitation to go to the pool with everyone, Yuta decides to figure out what's going on and help her relax. Game of Familia Volume 6. Will these girls forever suffer the cruelty of mankind's twisted desire for knowledge and power? Not if Sase has any say in the matter. Hinana and Sase's infiltration into Lignell, Land of Magic, is going well, maybe too well. Hinana has made fast friends with Mirakaba, the mysterious daughter of Sika, but she soon finds herself staring into the abyss of evil and discovering the cruel purpose for which her friend was born. I picked up this World Strategy Guide Volume 2. In search of silverberries for their ability to cure petrification, Sana makes her way east to the bewildering woods, where she comes face to face with none other than the hero in her strategy guide, a boy named Tsubasa. Sana tries to direct the lost protagonist down the road he needs to take, endeavouring to support him while altering the story as little as possible. But after they part ways, will Sana's efforts be successful, or will their encounter change what's written for the hero and the village? I'm Quitting Heroing Volume 8. This is the last volume, so go buy it to see how this series ends. If the villainess and villain met and fell in love Volume 3. Faced with such kindness, the feelings she'd been holding back begin to overflow. It's time for Bridget and Yuri's rematch as they go head-to-head in the Magic Stone Hunt, but a false accusation against Bridget by Joseph's new flame, Lisa, puts a pause on their competition. In Another World with My Smartphone Volume 14. As 13,169 phrase appears, Toya starts panicking. How can they possibly destroy so many strong enemies? Meanwhile, back at the castle, the former king of the Night Kingdom of Lestia, the only adventurer other than Toya to hold a gold-class guild card, comes to visit along with the princess Hildegard, but somehow it turns into a duel between grandfather and granddaughter. Itaewon Class Volume 5. While Seiroyi's hard work brings him closer and closer to his goals, Honey Knight's success isn't without consequence, namely the retaliation of Janga Group. Gyunwon is no stranger to getting his hands dirty, and this time he's trying to snipe Yuseo. A new series called Lady Devil. The twin sister Giovinetta Valdemar, or Lady Devil herself, branded as such after her husband's heart was ripped out on their wedding night. The twin brother, Johannes Valdemar, the exalted hero and shining son of House Valdemar. Torn from Johannes by their mother as children, Giovinetta can only glimpse her unrestricted brother through the single window in the room where she's kept under lock and key. So when Giovinetta is next betrothed to a much older nobleman, the fear of yet another cage drives her to make a desperate plea for help to the devil of Dukomon, a wish that is answered by transforming Johannes into a devil himself. Will this creature be her salvation, or lead them both down a treacherous and forbidden path? Loverboy Volume 1. For Jung there's always been one constant in life. his feeling for the boy next door, Jae-ha-yu. From a proposal at the age of 3 to a confession in his teenage years, the torch Yoon-yu carries for the older man has never gone out, not even when Jae-ha got married to a woman. With Yoon-ho now in college, a chance meeting leads the two to reconnect, and Yoon-ho will do everything in his power to make the recent divorcee his lover. There's just a small hiccup. Jae-ha has only ever seen him as a cute and annoying kid. Minato's Laundromat Volume 5. Akira Minato is away from his worn-out laundromat to spend Christmas Eve with Shintaro and his family, which his persistent pursuer couldn't be happy about. But while the two are preparing to cozy up together for the holidays, Asuka has relationship troubles of his own. He wants to believe he and Shu are dating, but will Shu ever feel the same? And what will Asuka do when Shintaro's sister Ranko tells him she wants to confess her love to Shu herself? My Oh My Atami-kun Volume 2. Fireworks, friends and school festivals. Atami-kun is enjoying the first year of high school at his own leisurely pace, but quirky new characters keep finding their way into his life, and sometimes his heart. That vexing boy from the class next door who won't leave him alone, the cool upperclassman sharing words of wisdom, a romance over before it ever began. Through trials, tribulations and aimless everyday conversations, Atami-kun learns what it means to love, perhaps just a little bit. Nights with a Cat Volume 5. Cats can be quite picky, whether it's their favourite toys, their favourite hiding spots, or their favourite cardboard box. They always need things to be just right, and aren't interested in whatever alternatives their foolish humans attempt to suggest. Can Futa and his sister meet Kuraga's high standards? No Longer Heroine Volume 9. Hattori's furious when she finds out that Runa and Hiromitsu kissed, and that Hiromitsu even tried to hide it from her. Now that Hattori's relationship with Hiromitsu is in trouble, Rita may just have a chance with her, until his ex-girlfriend Adachi returns to the scene. What's more, she's totally different from the earnest, upright girl she was before. Will Hattori's love life ever know peace? Overgeared Volume 7. Grid has a wedding to attend, his own. Marrying Irene, the Earl's daughter, is set to come with all kinds of benefits, nobility, wealth, privilege, and more. RE0 Starting Life in Another World, Chapter 4, The Sanctuary and the Witch of Greed, Volume 9. To avert tragedy at both the mansion and the sanctuary, Subaru and Otto take action, but with a ferocious Garfield in the way, the two can't make any progress. As Subaru mulls over a solution, he has a heart-to-heart conversation with Amelia, whose struggle over a past full of hazy memories weighs on her. Can Subaru do or say anything that will reach her? See You in My 19th Life Volume 6. Ji-yoon and Seha's first official date ended in complete disaster, and now Seha isn't answering any of her calls or messages. When Seha's persistent anxiety surrounding their relationship reaches a breaking point, Ji-yoon must ask herself what's truly best for him. Reveal that she's actually due on Yoon, or keep it a secret forever. Spy Classroom Second Period Daughter Dearest, Volume 1. With the killer virus successfully retrieved from the Galgad Empire, the girls are ready to go on even more missions. The only problem is, Klaus refuses to take them on any. Can these fledgling spies prove their skills once again and face the new evil lurking in the shadows? SSS Class Revival Hunter Volume 3. Leading an army to victory is a piece of cake for someone with the right skill set. Like Gongja, following their success, the top 10 ranked hunters are unexpectedly summoned to a different place to choose between rewards from the goddess and the demon king. However, Gongja's got more urgent things to take care of. A gathering of the top hunters means facing the Sword Emperor, so forget making the right choice. Will Gongja manage to get out of this alive? Volume 2 of Stomp Kick Love. Even though Kaho did kind of sleep with her devilishly handsome drinking buddy, Akira, she's already determined that he is 100% absolutely not boyfriend material. So obviously, she should pretend it never happened and avoid him at all costs. But since he keeps popping up everywhere Kaho looks, she can't seem to catch a break. Worse, she's so busy thinking about him that she doesn't have the mental capacity to notice the attentions of a certain charming, considerate co-worker who's been inviting her out. Sword Art Online RE Enkrad Volume 3. With Kirito's help, the Moonlit Black Cats, the formerly weak guild, makes quick progress and seeks out more powerful foes. But Sachi, the guild's only female member, is on the verge of a breakdown. living in constant fear of death, and she wants desperately to escape the game world. So when she suddenly disappears one night, Kirito rushes out to find her, fearing the worst. Tamaki and Amane. Family, romance, friendship. Love takes many shapes. From the Edo period to modern-day Japan, the post-war era to the 70s, Tamaki and Amane's fates intertwine time and time again. The 31st Consort Volume 1. Becoming a consort is every lady's dream, as long as she's not the 31st. Being ranked lowest means living in the shabbiest residence, having the fewest maids, and worst of all, only getting to meet the king when the 31st day of a month rolls around. It's perfect for Felia though. Uninterested in marriage, she'd much rather get her hands dirty tending her cherished herb garden than fighting for favour. But when the king finally visits, Felia realises vying for His Majesty's full attention might just be worth it. The Boxer Volume 10. How did a man like Kay become so hell-bent on seeing the pinnacle of human superiority? How did a boy like you lose the light in his eyes? Two very different paths converged in space and time and led to this very moment. A moment of life and death, human and monster, power and omnipotence. As you and Aaron circle the drain, a god may be born or a life may be taken. Volume 11 of the Case Study of Vanitas. With the Comte de Saint-Germain still on the loose, the gang can't rest easy for long. As he closes in on the young archivist girl, the hope and despair of humans, vampires and Damphirs alike clash. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 12. Iana finds herself being attacked by Guinevere, who thinks she's the Demon King. Though she escapes the situation without being unmasked thanks to Yomi's quick thinking, could Sol have seen through her ruse? The Eminence in Shadow, Volume 12. Sid made a badass exit via a collapsing portal. But is this Japan? How'd he and Beta wind up back on Earth? And what the heck happened while he was away? There's a ruined city, piles of corpses, wandering monsters and mana still lingering in the air. Volume 2 of The Teen Exorcist. Now that Guren has come to his aid, Masahiro is ready to take down this dastardly demon and save the princess. But what awaits them beyond the battle is an even deadlier foe. With no chance to catch his breath, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions, Volume 6. After a few hiccups on the way, Al and Akira finally arrive in Chicago, where Al's TV show will be filmed. There, Al is in for a thrilling surprise. Turns out they'll be lodging with the movie producer he idolises, Richard Carlyle. Richard decides to tag along and watch their shoot, but then a strange man attacks Richard in the dead of night. Al is determined to catch the criminal, but will this encounter prove too dangerous for even a vampire to handle? Ubel Blatt Deluxe Edition Volume 2. After decades of anticipation, Coinzel finally squares off against the first of his former traitorous comrades. Without the moons to fuel his strength though, is he up to the task of dispatching this formidable opponent? Blend S Volume 2. Slowly but surely, Micah has gotten used to playing her sadistic character at the cafe and is starting to enjoy her first part-time job to the fullest. How could she not, when it comes with perks like trips to the mountains and the beach? But however close she may have gotten with all her co-workers, Micah hasn't realised why the manager is cozying up to her. Brunhild the Dragon Slayer Volume 2. When Brunhild's beloved dragon is killed by the Imperial Army, a force led by the man who turns out to be her father, the distraught girl is captured and dragged back to the Empire as a member of the heroic Siegfried family. Waiting for her chance to take revenge, Brunhild learns all she can about the nation and military she's been forced to join. But as Brunhild lives among Norvelland's people, something in her may be beginning to change, and after a rocky reunion with her brother, Sigurd, she starts to open up to him. Mono Volume 2. Curry, skateboarding, ghosts. There's lots of fun stuff for the Cine Photo Study Club to check out. And what about those mysterious round stones scattered throughout the city? Senpai This Can't Be Love Brush Up Volume 2. Having finally been granted some precious time off, Kaneda returns home to the countryside to visit his family. Just as he agonises over whether it's time to tell them about his relationship with Yanase, the man himself surprises him by showing up at their house. How and why does he plan to introduce himself to Kaneda's folks? And back at work, when a talented new team member partners up with Yanase, Kaneda's feelings are really put to the test. The War of Greedy Witches Volume 2. Tomoe Gozen and Elizabeth Bathory's fight to the death comes to its thrilling conclusion. When justice and evil clash, who will be victorious? A new series called To Sir Without Love, I'm Divorcing You. Daughter of a viscount, talented with a sword and possessing a shrewd business sense, Violetta neither needs nor wants an arranged marriage. But on the day she's supposed to meet her future groom, he's gone off to war. Why, a spouseless life with no man to keep her down is a dream come true. Skip to 8 wonderful years later, when she receives news that her stranger of a husband is set to return. Determined to keep her freedom, Violetta sends him a letter requesting a separation, only for him to respond with an outrageous wager. He'll agree to a divorce if they sleep together for a month that she doesn't conceive. From Dark Horse Comics, Hellsing Volume 10. Amidst the blood-drenched wreckage of London, the champions of light and darkness face off in a final showdown that will determine the future of humanity, or see humanity's fall. This is the final volume. From Titan Comics, we have Volume 2 of Speedgrapher. After a daring escape from the sadistic Roppongi Club, Saiga and Kagura go to meet a battlefield doctor who might be able to shine a light on Kagura's amazing power and how she changed Saiga's body to give him his new abilities. But it won't be as simple as it seems. Toxic Super Beast Volume 1. Set in a reality not too different from ours, terrifying monsters begin to appear one by one. The monsters are so appalling and powerful that they resemble nothing from reality, and their mission is to take over the world. The military will have to pull out all the stops with their impressive monster fighting tactics and divisions as they attempt to preserve human life. This is the first of 3 volumes. From Viz Media, we have Volume 16 of Mission Yozakura Family. The Yozakura siblings get a call from Kai Izumo, president of the Spy Association. A meeting of the Gold Ranks has been called. The agenda? Expelling the Yozakura family for Momo's dark deeds. Kyoichiro is less than pleased. As the meeting heats up, more colourful members of the association's gold ranks are introduced. Rainbows After Storms Volume 3. Sunshine and storm clouds await Nanoha and Chidori as they head into their first summer as a couple. They'll need to be ready for all sorts of thrilling activities. Record of Ragnarok Volume 14. Hades, the king of Helheim, will take to the arena to avenge his brother. Brunhild, as crafty as ever, decides to match one king against another, the man who unified China and became its first emperor. Red River 3-in-1 Edition Volume 3. Kale and his forces struggle to rescue Yuri from becoming one of the Prince of Darkness's courtesans, but the rescue will not be a simple one. Plus, someone has been impersonating Yuri in her absence and dragging down her reputation. Snowball Earth Volume 5. After the battle, the leader of Mishima Mall determines that the settlement must move. Tetsuro volunteers to scout a possible hideout that Nayuta, a member of Vierde, says he discovered. Can Tetsuro work with people who were his enemies just the day before? With a new paranormal kaiju lurking in the frozen wasteland, he'll need all the allies he can get. Steel of the Celestial Shadows Volume 6. Konosuke, Aki and Bokutake find themselves trapped in a game of chance with a mysterious gambler, rabbit-eyed Tenroku, and the wager is nothing less than Tsuki's life. Tenroku's gift guarantees that he can't lose, but losing is exactly what he desires the most. Why does he seek death? The answer lies in his dark past and a famine that struck the land a few years earlier. A new series called The Climber. Transfer student Buntaro Mori starts his first day at the new school, already on the administration's radar. He's withdrawn and sullen, and the teachers are just waiting for him to explode. When his annoying classmate Miyamoto promises to leave him alone forever if he climbs to the top of the school, Mori eagerly takes up the challenge and shocks everyone when he makes it all the way to the roof. Flushed with the victory of his first successful climb, Mori can't resist the lure of the local peak, despite warnings from more experienced climbers about the risks of climbing alone. But Mori doesn't care. A little danger is nothing in the face of his new obsession. Tokyo Alien Bros Volume 2. After a series of unfortunate mishaps, Fuyunosuke and Natsutaro are on the brink of being discovered. Now the two need to learn how to act as human as possible and fast. Thankfully, Fuyunosuke has a plan. He's going to teach his brother how to hold down a normal job and go on a normal date. But the clock is ticking. If he fails, their entire plan for Earth colonization could go up in smoke. Undead Unlock Volume 19. Fuko and the others have returned from space and landed in Hong Kong, where they meet Shen's little sister Mei. She asks Fuko to save Shen, prompting Fuko to enter a martial arts tournament where Feng is the reigning champion. Volume 2 of Vagabond Definitive Edition. Musashi sets out for Nara, intent on challenging the warrior monks of legendary Hozuin Temple. But Musashi's growing feelings for his childhood friend Otsu may prove to be a fatal distraction in his match against the master of Hozuin's deadly spear technique. Martial Master Asumi, Volume 1. Nito is used to spending his days in ordinary ways, like avoiding high school bullies and caring for his ailing grandfather. So when his best friend Yuya asks him to try MMA, Nito is skeptical, but with guidance from Nao Okiba, an upperclassman on her way to becoming a professional fighter, Nito realises that MMA is actually pretty fun. Me and Roboko Volume 15. Roboko's become a movie star. Will she let the fame go to her head and become a diva? Of course. My Neighbor Totoro, the official cookbook. Fans are invited to recreate these delicious recipes in their own homes, featuring step-by-step instructions and photography. This charming cookbook provides recipes for the delectable dishes seen in the movie, including Satsuki's homemade bento, moving day caramels, and Granny's ohagi. The book will also teach readers how to cook the fresh vegetables grown in Granny's garden. Interspersed throughout this cookbook are numerous images and a retelling of the movie's key moments. Shoujo no Volume 2. In the 23rd century, humans use mindless organic robots called Gijin to do their every bidding. But when an escaped military Gijin named Mari frees herself from human control, it becomes clear that the Gijin aren't so mindless after all. She vows to make a world where all Gijin are free, and there's only one way to do that, to kill all humans. And when Ryaha makes the bold decision to help her, the two find themselves on the run from the police and caught in the net of an ever-deepening conspiracy. Star Wars The High Republic, The Edge of Balance Volume 4. With a fearsome army led by the infamous Nihil scientist Baron Bulan headed their way, Lily must trust her allies and dig deep to face their biggest challenge yet. Meanwhile, Sav will have to look within her past to find the only person who can possibly help. And that is going to be out on the 22nd of April. Dragon Ball Z Super Volume 23. Cell Max is unleashed, and the only ones there to fight the ultimate android are Gohan, Piccolo, and the hero androids Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. The four of them are quickly overpowered by the formidable Cell Max, but they refuse to give up, and with his daughter's life on the line, Gohan, in his fury, unlocks a new transformation, one that may be even stronger than his own father's Ultra Instinct. Firefly Wedding Volume 2. Satoko is kidnapped and imprisoned on an isle of prostitutes. To escape, she and Shinpei come up with a plan for her to pose as one herself, but there's one problem. Shinpei forbids her from letting another man touch her, vowing that he will be the only one to protect her. How can Satoko pull off a convincing performance with such a contradictory restriction in place? The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time Volume 1. In the mystical land of Hyrule, 3 spiritual stones hold the key to the Triforce, and whoever holds them will control the world. A boy named Link sets out on a quest to deliver the emerald, the spiritual stone of the forest, to Zelda, Princess of the land of Hyrule. The journey will be long and perilous, and Link will need all his skill and courage to defeat evil. From Inklore, Cherry Blossoms After Winter Volume 2. Seo Haebom has only just gotten used to having his friend turned distant housemate, Jo Taesung, acknowledge his existence, but now it seems like they might actually be friends again. As Taesung brings Haebom into his social circle, Haebom discovers not only how much he's missed his childhood playmates, but how much more fun high school can be. Volume 3, Father, I Don't Want This Marriage. Desperate to appear unavailable for marriage to the tyrannical Crown Prince Maximilian, the villain of her previous life, Juvelian has proposed a contract relationship with her father's rebellious protégé. At first glance, he's the perfect choice, but a veil of misunderstandings hides a dark truth that could challenge Juvelian's attempts to change her future. From Seven Seas Entertainment, Glasses with a Chance of Delinquents, Volume 2. Momose, who hates delinquents, somehow ended up dating the ex-delinquent Ichikura. Momose isn't sure if Ichikura-kun actually likes her, or if he's just dating her so she won't blab about his past, but she becomes more and more attracted to him as they spend time together. She even sees that he has a kind side to him, and he's kept his promise to not pick fights. But when a hardcore delinquent that knows Ichikura shows up, will Ichikura stick to his peaceful ways? My Cat is Such a Weirdo, Volume 6. A new wind blows into the bright lives of Tonchan, the pack leader, Shino-san, the easygoing cat, and Taneo, the rascal. As an axolot joins the Tamagoyama family, how will the cats react to this unusual creature? Cat Companions, Maruru and Hachi, Volume 3. Stray cats Maruru and Hachi were taken in by Yasuro, the catnapper, and are now living in the shelter. Maruru used to be a house cat, so he's friendly with the humans, but Hachi won't let his guard down. While at the shelter they are living pretty peaceful lives, until Hachi is taken away by Yasuro and they hear him scream. 365 Days to the Wedding, Volume 7. Uhara Takuya and Honjoji Rika are ready to take their relationship to the next step, but it's turning out to be one giant leap. Even though the two have already confessed their feelings for each other, going from fake engagement partners to real lovers is proving to be more nerve-wracking than they expected. The Yakuza and his Omega Raw Desire Volume 2. After their unexpectedly steamy first encounter, struggling Omega author Nikura Wakana never thought she'd see alpha gangster Tatara Kunimitsu again. Yet more than once she's found herself in his embrace. But just when she thought their relationship was purely physical, Kunimitsu surprises her by declaring that they are fated to be together as both mates and lovers. Will Wakana allow herself to be seduced, or will her fear of crossing the line into the world of the Yakuza keep them apart? Jean Bride Volume 1. Isahaya Ichi is fed up with men, a woman navigating a world where she's underestimated at work because of her gender and sexually harassed. But when her former classmate Masaki unexpectedly shows up, everything changes. He claims to be the other half of her destined pair from a junior high school event called Jean Bride, where genetic information matched students into couples for a day. While Ichi barely remembers the event, Masaki's sudden reappearance sparks a journey of rediscovery and buried secrets. Malevolent Spirits Mononogatari Volume 10. After one of the new Seinome, staying at the Nagatsuki house, is brutally attacked, suspicion turns to the Nagatsuki dowry. Even Hyoma is considered a suspect, and no amount of evidence seems to be enough to dissuade the powerful Yachimata family from locking everyone up. Punk's Triangle. A young designer called Chiaki dreams of creating a look for his favourite model and finally gets his chance, unless his class partner screws things up. Caught between the alluring, mysterious model he worships and a clumsy, rough-round-the-edges classmate who can't seem to stay out of trouble, but may be hiding a surprising secret, Chiaki faces a heart-pounding, pure boys' love dilemma that will turn his world upside down. Kase-san and Yamada Volume 4. Kase-san and Yamada are moving in together, but in the midst of their hunt for an apartment, Fukami learns that Kase-san is leaving the dorm. Shocked at this news, Fukami challenges her roommate to a 100-meter dash in an attempt to stop her. Who is destined to be Kase's roommate, Fukami or Yamada? The Kingdoms of Ruin Volume 10. Adonis is obsessed with taking revenge for the death of his beloved mentor, but he isn't the only one nurturing the flame of vengeance in his heart. After leaving the shattered ruins of Mark Point behind, Adonis's journey brings him face to face with a girl of steel-armoured Yuki. Much as humanity stole from Adonis what was most precious to him, Yuki lost her beloved brother at the hands of the witch's apprentice. The conflict between magic and science rages anew as the two of them prepare their blades for an inevitable confrontation. Tiger and Dragon Volume 3. Konomi thought she knew her childhood friends, Kagetora and Tatsuromi, but she's learning every day just how much these boys have changed. Having faced both of their feelings head-on, she resolves to finally choose which one she'll give her heart to. Yet things get complicated when a new contender joins the fray, turning this love triangle into a love quadrangle. Black Knight Parade Volume 6. Miharu is whisked away from right under Kinect's invisible nose. he finds himself in Silent Night, a surreal space where the December 24th of that year is on a continuous loop, experiencing a world beyond his wildest dreams. Discover Knecht's true intentions for recruiting Miharu to the Santa Claus house in this installment of the Black Christmas saga. Gravitation Collector's Edition Volume 5. Shuichi has been whisked away to none other than the United States. His relationship with Yuki now in shambles, Shuichi decides to make his American debut and forget all about Japan, Yuki included. But when Shuichi finally returns home, Yuki is there to greet him at the airport. Virgin Marriage, A Maiden Voyage into Passion's Embrace Volume 1. Newlyweds Kurumi and Keiichiro have had a happy first year of marriage, getting to know one another and starting their new life together. Except the two have yet to consummate their union, and so far there are no signs of that changing, and as their anniversary approaches, Kurumi wonders if they'll ever take things to the next level. But with both of them being completely inexperienced and easily flustered, their wedding bliss could turn into a serious pent-up mess. My New Life as a Cat Volume 9. Now was a typical high school boy till he got into an accident and switched bodies with a cat. Now as Niao, he's living that sweet, sweet cat life to the max, from spying on the humans to looking cute as a piece of sushi. Yes, No or Maybe Volume 2. Princely news anchor Kunieda Kei has been spending time with animator Tsuzuki Ushio under the guise of the masked Owari. That is, until Ushio kissed him. To make matters worse, now the station's network execs want him to take over as host for a major news program, and they won't take no for an answer. But right when Kei is at his lowest, who should call but Ushio, offering words of advice that ring all too familiar. A new series called Kaya-chan Isn't Scary. Kaya-chan is a notorious problem child in her kindergarten, but none of the adults know her secret, till Chie-sensei is put in charge and learns of Kaya-chan's hidden ability to see evil spirits and vanquish them with a punch. What will happen to this 5-year-old who gets in trouble when she's only trying to help? Idol x Idol Story Volume 1. From the author of New Game comes a story about an idol competition to make the best group ever. Mimi is a college grad working part-time at a convenience store. Once an aspiring idol, she abandoned her dream when her group failed to make it big. Ibuki is a rising star inspired by Mimi's past. Their unexpected encounters reignite Mimi's passion for the spotlight. Together they decide to audition for a high-stakes idol competition show. Can they achieve their dreams and forge an unbreakable bond, or will the intense rivalry tear them apart? The Dangerous Convenience Store Volume 5. It's been 3 years since Yoojun last saw Gunwoo, and there have been a lot of changes. He's even dating again, having found someone who reminds him of Gunwoo, but without all the hang-ups. But then he receives a call from an unknown number. What will happen to Yoojun's new normal if Gunwoo suddenly shows back up in his life? Checkmate Volume 3. Soo-hyun's game of seduction continues, but as Yun-sung opens up to him, he finds the other man to be surprisingly sincere, even worried about the danger he'd been unaware of. Could Soo-hyun have been wrong about Yun-sung all along? The condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain, Volume 4. The day of the school festival arrives, and Claudia enacts a plan to gather solid proof of Fermina's evil deeds. However, memories from Claudia's previous life leak into the present, softening her resolve, only for Fermina to reveal her most underhanded tactic yet. Die Dark Volume 8. The whole universe is out to kill Zaha Sanko and take his bones, thanks to a pesky rumour that whoever takes them will receive their heart's desire. Sanko himself doesn't have a clue what's going on with all that, but his buddy, Dame Maru, thinks he can solve the mystery with the tools in his lab, so they head for the planet where Dame Maru parks his ship, only to find that everything and everyone there has vanished, except for an ominous castle. Dungeon People Volume 5. Now that she's reached level 10, Clay faces a threat that will push her managerial skills to the absolute limit. This time it's from a totally unexpected source, a fight between monster co-workers. A new series called My New Boss is Goofy. Forced to change jobs after being constantly bullied by his old boss, 26-year-old Momose Kentaro is understandably anxious about what's in store for him at his new workplace. After all, what if his new boss ends up being just as cruel? However, Momose's fears vanish once he meets Shirosaki Yusei, a deadpan yet competent manager who is anything but scary. In fact, he's actually a little goofy. This workplace comedy inspired the hit anime Ennead Volume 5. The battle that will decide the fate of Egypt's throne draws nigh. Will Horus become the new ruler, or will Seth reclaim his seat of power? Meanwhile, truths from the past reveal themselves, and with them comes the identity of the one who cursed Horus. A reminder that this volume comes in two options, paperback or hardback. Hardback is the mature version, whilst the paperback has a lower age rating. Catman. In a world where humans and humanoid cats coexist, shy catman Hachisuke struggles with being seen as just a cute object. Trying to fit in amongst humans who don't fully understand him, he faces society's hidden biases head-on. With wit and warmth, this story challenges us to see the world differently, through the eyes of a cat who just wants to belong. From Tokyo Pop, The Little Bird Sleeps by the Sea. This is a BL one-shot that explores themes of healing from trauma, grief, and family both by blood and by choice. Left devastated after the tragic death of his parents and sister, Yuichi Tachibana adopts his 7-year-old nephew Ayumu. Seeking a new beginning, he chooses to move them to a new house with a view of the ocean, hoping for a peaceful setting where they can concentrate on their healing. There they meet Ryo Kurebayashi, who owns a neighborhood deli. As Ryo and Yuichi grow closer, learning about each other's unfortunately similarly tragic pasts, they begin to support one another and Ayumi day by day, building a little family of their own by the sea. The Margrave's Daughter and the Enemy Prince Volume 2. Anna Halmick's new life in the Kingdom of Albion starts with her attending Centaur Ladies Academy, where she must learn the ways of an elegant noblewoman, which Anna is most certainly not. Her total lack of refinement comes in handy when she rescues her classmate, Claire, from a group of high-status bullies led by Iris Eclipse, Prince Kenneth's actual fiancée? But if she's his fiancée, what exactly does that make Anna? Enraged by her fate as a political pawn, Anna joins Claire in her mission to disrupt the country's corrupt hierarchy. That sounds like a lot of fun. The Person I Loved Asked Me to Die in My Sister's Stead, Volume 3. As Wisteria and Lloyd venture out to face the dangers of the pre-dawn realm together, Wisteria learns that Lloyd is seeking his truth and she's determined to help him find it, as well as protect him at all costs along the way. But Lloyd vowed to defeat Wisteria and claim Satis for his bride, and he swore never to break his promises. But where does that leave Wisteria as her heart begins to stir? We're Not Cut Out to Be Lovers Volume 1. It's been 6 months since broody auto mechanic Kumazawa moved in next door to Koichi, a streamer who claims to be an expert on love. After one too many loud recordings, Kumazawa finally snaps and shows up at Koichi's door, only to shut him up with a passionate kiss. Kumazawa has no interest in pursuing a straight guy, but Koichi stops by night after night and won't leave until he's satisfied. Coming off the heels of a traumatic breakup in which his partner cheated, Kumazawa is convinced he and Koichi won't work out, but Koichi is determined to persuade him otherwise. Can a physical relationship between two people who are totally not meant to be turn into something real? From Square Enix, My Dress Up Darling Volume 13. After several sleepless nights, Wakana has finished the Heaven's Will costume just in time for Comiket. The immaculate combination of his craftsmanship and her acting chops soon whips the entire venue into a fervour. So why does Wakana look down in the dumps? Tokyo Aliens Volume 8. Amidst the hustle and bustle of Tokyo, AMO officer Natsuki Hyogo has had an unexpected encounter with Chizuru Sato, his friend since childhood and first love from his faraway hometown. While the feelings between them may be flickering back to life, a threat looms in the form of a sinister alien that's hooked its claws into a clueless Chizuru. Desperate to protect Chizuru, Natsuki winds up delving into the tragic past of his superior officer, as well as that of Natsuki's own mother. What old ties and surprising connections will come to light? Wash It All Away Volume 1. For 2 years, Wakana Kinmei has run a laundry service in the seaside resort town of Atami. Kinmei Cleaning is a well-loved business, and Atami residents admire Wakana's devotion to her trade. She builds a fulfilling life making friends with the locals and visiting hot springs, Although Wakana has no knowledge of her own past, her cleaning services safeguard memories imbued in customers' precious items. Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, the official art book for the Dawn Trail expansion, presenting hundreds of pages of full-colour art and an exclusive in-game item code for a wind-up Erenville minion. This is the 10th volume in the line of Final Fantasy XIV official art books. So those were all the releases for the second half of April. There were so many releases and I didn't include every single one in this video. I hope there were lots of volumes there that you were really interested in buying. I definitely want to read a lot of these volumes. As always, if you want to use the code Jay'sManga to get an extra 5% off at SciFier.com, please do use it. SciFier.com is an amazing website. It's got really cheap prices anyway, so to get an extra 5% off is really, really nice. I am sorry that this video has been released later than I normally would. It was because I was ill and my throat is now feeling a bit funny, so I'm going to stop this video here. Have a lovely manga buying month, everyone. Bye!